Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome back to another unboxing of Etsy stuff. This is for some more stuff for Marvel United. So this is from the Etsy creator. Here we got MinisFromMars. So they have this. There's their website there for their thing. You can also check out their Etsy pages where I got these. Yeah, so they make these really cool miniatures. They have some more other stuff that I'm probably going to get as well. There's a few other things I want to picture, but these are some really neat miniatures. We're going to get a closer look here in just a sec. But these are replacements for your thug and civilian tokens, your threat tokens, which are really neat. So yeah, normally we have our little tiny civilian / threat tokens. So you flip over and they just hang out on the board. So if like we're at Scar, you just put one on there and you put one on each one. But instead what this lets you do then is put them on the board. They take up the same amount of room, but they give a little bit more of a physical presence on the board as well, as they're easier to pick up and move around. Granted, I mean, the one thing that might take a little bit more time is if it says, oh, turn a civilian into a thug. Now you gotta flip this around instead of you gotta pull this off the board, you gotta go to your collection and grab one. I think trying to have to pick up the tokens and flip them around versus just grabbing a miniature is not that big of a deal. They're really cool. And the worst case is you can always keep these around as well in case you ever have extra, if you ever need extra for some reason. Although I can't imagine why you probably would. Because you can buy them in packs of 20 of each. So 20 blue, 20 red. And I've even went through a bunch of the different locations. So in the multiverse set, now I didn't go through the X-Men and the original set as well, but just in the multiverse, we have Scar, Tarek 4, San Francisco, the Core, Niflheim, and Spider Island. Are 6 locations, how many you have all, they all have 5 spots each. There's 20 spots, so if every spot was filled up, you would have, did I do my math wrong there? It's 30. It's 30 spots. So you only have 20 of one, 20 of the other. So if for some reason they're all 100% civilians or 100% thugs, you wouldn't have enough. You'd actually have to have another batch. You'd have to have 30 of each. But I can't imagine how often it's going to get where you only have just thugs, only have just civilians, and you also have all 6 locations completely full. And again, there's only 6 major locations in the entire multiverse set that have them. So you'd have to have that odd combination of having all 6 of those spots with 6 slots out and having them all filled with one type for you to run out. If they're mix and match or some spots are empty, you're going to end up with some extra holes. And again, worst case scenario, you got your extra tokens sitting around anyhow. The only other 2 that have more is if you're playing with the Galactus set, is they do have Africa, which also has 6, and then Asia, which has 7. Now, there might be a couple more 7s available in the other 2, which again, if you had 1 or 2 more of them, that adds up to your other thing. But still, that's not terrible at all. And then we have the little threat tokens, which are, and again, we'll take a little bit closer look at these in a moment. We have little tiny skulls that then can sit on your board. And then as you complete your regular objective missions, which I don't have them sitting here, then you can just pick these guys up, move them up to your final objective thing, which is really cool, very simple. Then the last thing we have, and again, those are going to replace your little purple tokens. Again, they just a little bit more, it's your board presence versus this can become, it can become that. And it gives you a little bit more board presence, quicker to grasp. Plus, they don't have to worry about maybe blending into the background as much. Little things like that. Then the last one we have here is we have little multiple mans. So if you have multiple man figure, he does get his own civilian tokens. And this is just because they sit on the board and they kind of mix in. Although they do looking at me, you can obviously tell they're different than the regular civilians. Very clear different than the thugs because they have blue and red. Is that now you can just have a full little miniature on the board. So you could have that. And yeah, if you paint them, it'll look even cooler. you know, little painted ones. Now, I know the creator did at one point make Doctor Doom. He didn't have any in stock at the time of ordering, so I'm hoping he remakes them, because I love some little Doctor Doom ones to go with. Of course, me being the guy that started painting miniatures, my idea is, do I keep them all as the green Doctor Doom, or do I paint some of them as the white Emperor Doctor Doom, or do I get a set for each? But, you know, that's just my thought in general. Even the multiple man, they're all the same pose, but I might end up painting them different colors and stuff. Alright, so I'm going to do a quick pause, and then I'm going to bring the camera up a little bit closer, and some of the other cool stuff I got. Alright, so I want to take a little bit closer at these miniatures. These are kind of like a rubbery, almost plastic. Not going to bend a lot too much. They could snap off their bases if you're not careful, so like you're not going to want to just chuck them into a box. You might, like, I kind of set them there, but you don't want to probably jumble them around too much. But each one, so there's of the 20 for each one, they have a bunch of different poses. So, and I think he has the multiple ones. You can get some that are all the same, or you can get some with different poses. Might just be available depending on what he has available at the moment. But for the thugs, oh, we grabbed 2 of the same one. We have 2 of the fist. There we go. Here's the other one. Yeah, so we get 2 guys, 2 girls, kind of just stand there, and 2 guys and 2 girls kind of with a pointing gesture, or like a put your fists up. So it's kind of neat. Like, did they have to be? Realistically, like, you wanted things to do this, they could have just been a solid piece of plastic, which you had to paint whatever color you wanted to. You wanted them red, paint them red. They could have just been, they could have been like almost meeply shaped, like big fat things, so you knew which color they were. Something like that could just made the bases the color. There's a lot of like little shortcuts, but I think these are really cool, designed for what that. And then again, are you gonna really care too much if they're too tiny? No. Am I gonna paint these? Probably not. I might, maybe in the future, maybe it might be ideas. Maybe I'll like repaint them and try and paint them as like minions for certain different groups. That'd be kind of neat. I do like that as actually a fact, or maybe see if he can, instead of printing them off in this red, this red material is cool. You just have to try to cut off the base. You could still have them the same, but that might be the only reason I would paint them. A lot of extra work, but like we have some villains that give like extra health on their henchmen cards to certain people. I don't have any of them sitting here, but like some like make them like the jury, so it gives them to a turn, or they're like scroll elite. Some things like that might be kind of neat. Like, granted, they're all going to be very different, but you could maybe paint them like, oh, red ones are just your generic guys, your generic henchmen that are sitting out somewhere, or villains sitting out. Maybe you could paint some of these to act as like the henchmen. Like, oh, well, I have these without threats there. I could put these other colored ones out as a reminder to be like, these are my elite henchmen that take 2 damage. And that might be something I might do in the future, but that's here nor there, really. Then we have our civilians. So we have 2 frightened civilians, and then 2 standing regular ones. Again, the frightened ones are kind of neat. They're like, oh, there's battles going on. They're kind of terrified. I do like the fact that the blue and red are kind of neat. They could have been solid blue and red, which would be neat. There's almost makes you feel like they're holograms, like there's danger room training scenarios going on. But yeah, that's pretty cool there. So then we have those guys. Then the other one we have is a good old multiple man, Jamie Madrox. See if I can maybe tilt him up a little bit. So he's just got his like fist slammed together pose. And then just as a comparison, we have the regular, so it's this multiple man pose. Now, because I have this so zoomed in, it's hard to really see the details on these guys. Let me see if I can. Nope. And there goes multiple man across the table. Now, it'd be kind of cool if we got a multiple man like that as well. That'd be kind of fun to have just like half and half. But yeah, no, these guys are pretty cool. And if we just want to throw some of these guys up, it's just, again, a comparison for how big they are compared to a regular miniature. So they don't tower above the same size. So they're not like, I think, like going to get in the way of your game at all. I think they're really neat. Again, are they necessary at all? Absolutely not. Generally most upgrades aren't. And then we have the threat token, which are these little skulls. So they'll replace your little purple ones. Now there are 6 of these in this set that you can order. So 1 for each location. I don't think you're ever going to need any more of these. And I generally can't think of any reason to make extra ones. Like why you would ever need more than 6. If there's any missions that require more. Because it's all that come in the base game is enough for each location. So there really shouldn't be any bit more. With the multiple man, I did forget to mention, there are only 10 of them. Because in the original box set with him, his cardboard tokens only come with 10. If you get the token pack, the acrylic token pack, he actually comes with 12. They gave him 2 more in the acrylic tokens, I'm guessing, in case you thought you might lose some. So you will be too short to that. But again, that's fine. Worst case is you run out of these tiny minutes. You somehow get more than 10 multiple mans on the table, you just have to start using your other tokens. It's not a big deal. I don't think it's going to happen too often. Alright. Then the next thing we got that's really cool. So we have tokens for... I might drop these down because the camera down a little bit because these guys are bigger. Get a little bit better view. So we have a token here for Senator Kelly, which works with the Mesquite. We have a double-sided one. So I got the acrylic ones for Rick Jones, and the other side is Betty Ross. So one with Warbreaker Hulk, one with Gladiator Hulk. One with Maestro. Rick Jones is with Maestro. Betty Ross is with Gladiator Hulk. And if you get the regular token, you'll get 2 separate ones. This is when they made the acrylic, they did it double-sided. Since they're villains, you never play with them at the same time. So these are kind of neat. We get these tokens, but what this creator did, which I think is really awesome, is he made little 3D miniatures of them. Now, there's a lot of people out making 3D miniatures of a lot of different side characters and like extra villains and all this. And I'm probably not going to buy any of those. The reason why I picked these up is because these aren't brand new characters. They're ones that replace, and I'll just pull these guys up here as well. So we have Rick Jones there. Yeah, because they're not like a brand new character where I'm going to go through and have to make like a extra deck and print off all this stuff. And you guys can't, there's his harmonica on the back. That is some awesome detail there. And here's Senator Kelly. He's of course panicked because, that's what Senator Kelly does. He's panicking around. But yeah, so that's why I picked these up. I thought that's really cool because, like, they can just replace the token on the board. And then here's Betty Ross. Now, mine, unfortunately, her legs popped off during the thing, so I'm currently trying to repair her. But this is not anything against the creator. This is just the way things happen sometimes. I mean, if you don't believe me, there are people that buy the CMON regular stuff that have things that are missing arms or broken parts. And if a giant-ass company like CMON is sending you things that occasionally become broken, what hope does a personal, smaller business like an Etsy store have, right? So there's definitely that. Yes, these are really cool, because then just, like, if you have you're playing as Mystique, let me drop my camera down a little bit here. So if we're playing as Mystique, and we're in Sakaar, and we have the Senator Kelly token out, and I have my Mystique painted, and she hunting down the Senator Kelly. So now you have this token. Oh, he moves to the next location, and he runs from Scar, and he, for some reason, is in space now, and he's in Tarnak 7. So instead of having this little token on the board you have to keep moving around, I have a big, giant miniature. It's the same size as the rest of the guys. I eventually hope I get him painted too, so he looks cool. So you can move him around. And if you're ever worried about maybe having them mix and match, you can probably just attach one of the bases to these guys. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm sure they'll probably work. They look to be base-wise, they're the exact same. They're a little bit smaller, maybe, but, so it might fit in there kind of loose, but the idea is not picking these up and moving them around a ton. But you could just put a little base from one of from Civil War or the X-Men blue and gold teams. Just that way you can denote, oh, that's the guy I'm trying to rescue. The only time that would be an issue is if you're playing one of those modes, but those are generally hero versus hero PvP. They're the same thing. So if like you have this, so if like we get Maestro in here, who's quite a bit bigger, and he's trying to get his buddy Rick Jones. And there's Betty, of course. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. You can definitely hop in and get those different guys for different things. I really like that. It's a really neat idea. Again, I'm probably not going to go out and buy, like, if somebody made a bunch for a bunch of different characters that don't exist, and you have to make up decks for them. I know I've seen stuff like the Ninja Turtles or things like that, and, like, they look cool. But I have to, like, create my own custom deck or go off somebody else's. The only other, like, miniature out in the game, like, character that they don't currently have in here that might be worth picking up if they make one would be if they make one or multiple ones that fit the hybrid symbiote, which is Agony, Toxin, Whiplash, no, not Whiplash, Lasher, and Riot. So they had little cards for them if they made like 4 different ones, if you're adding them as companions, or as a full thing, even if it's gonna be a full on, I don't know if they ever have to be placed on the board separately, but that would be cool too, so you'd have one for each character. I'd be willing to definitely pick those up. I'd say all 4 on the same base, but that might be getting a little bit too much unless they made like a Toxin or a hybrid miniature which had all 4 combined as hybrid. Alright, so the last thing I do want to show off for this creator was another really bonus thing that they sent me. So this was not part of my order, but this was just an extra little freebie I got in here. So maybe they're going to produce these, or maybe if you ask, maybe he can make some more. I don't know how hard it is for them to do this stuff. I don't like to put words into their mouths, but he made some extra civilians that are shaped like the 4 other guys I got. So we got Senator Kelly, Rick Jones, Betty Ross, and Multiple Man. So that's really cool. It's like, do you need these guys? No. They're neat little extra poses, though, so it's kind of cool. I could see maybe if they released, if these big ones, a full regular pack is like a 20 pack, if they put these as like just a side pack, like 1 of each, and maybe if you want to order like 2 or 3 so you could get some just different sculpts in there, would be kind of cool. Then there was 2 more that were part of this little bonus pack that aren't anywhere else. Is we have a henchman, or a thug with a skull head that looks like the threat token, so he just kind of reutilized his come on, you can focus, camera, I believe in you. Maybe. It does not want to focus. Sorry. See if I get that out of the way. Maybe that's distracting it. Yeah, so, well, it's as best as I can get. But yeah, he reutilized the little thug head skull token for that. And then the other one was a little baby, which I find really fun. Now, again, I wouldn't want to have 20 babies or 20 Rick Jones or Senator Kellys. I think they would be, like, they're a little bit more detailed. Like, so there's that versus, like, a generic person. Like, they're a little bit more detailed, so they're definitely cool, but I don't know if I would necessarily want all of them to look like that. They would be kind of cool, though. I could definitely see it. Yeah, like some, yes, I mean, they're a little bit neater, but I'm sure they also be a little bit more expensive to make. Even like Multiple Man, which I do like. They took off the hood and the X, so it's just like a guy in a trench coat, which is really cool. So like, I could see having more of these. I could see if there's like another pack of like 5 of these, you could add them in there and do that. Or like I was even talking about doing like the elite thugs which have more hit points, is if I had a special pack of these where you could have all these guys the same and then either leave them or maybe paint like their face masks, their heads white or something. And that'd be kind of cool as well. And then just even have that as being like a set of the elite ones. So every time you have a henchman card out that says this guy has all your henchmen or all your thugs in this area take 2 damage to defeat, you could have this put these guys out instead as a quick reminder. oh, I need 2 damage to take each of these guys out. That might be kind of a neat little idea. Again, I wouldn't want a board full of babies, though. That might be a little ridiculous, unless I'm playing, like, some weird scenario. Although with, like, the little civilians, if you're going to keep, like, the little special ones, a long extra thing to do might be just some extra fun ones. If you're going to do, like, just some of the other side characters. So if you wanted to be like, oh, I want to be able to rescue, like, Aunt May or Mary Jane, like, you can even repaint or reuse her as Mary Jane. You know, she can stand in for a lot of the different women. You have, like, a Professor X in, like, a wheelchair. So there'd be a lot of really cool little miniatures you could do, but I think that's, you know, that's like, person's bored and they want to make something really neat, awesome, like a specialty pack, maybe charge more for it because they're all specialty designed, but you only want, like, one of each. That'd be kind of neat. A lot of side characters, they'd be kind of cool, but alright, that is what we have. That is the minis from Mars. So yeah, I really enjoy these. I think they're gonna add to the game a lot. I like adding all these extra little components to the game that aren't just aesthetic stuff. They actually do have a function in the game. They're gonna be able to replace my tokens, make the game a little bit easier to pick stuff up, move along. Again, I said he does have some other things that I didn't pick up at the time because I hadn't gotten my multiverse set yet, so I didn't know if I didn't know how they were utilized, but now that I do, I'm going to probably pick them up. He has, like, Wrecker's Crowbar, the Spider Bots for Superior Spider-Man. I know at one point I also saw some sewers for the Lizard. And then I said some Doombot tokens might be really cool. So yeah, if he restocks his shop up some, definitely some more stuff I'll pick up and I'll do another video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. See you guys later. Bye.